the world we live in is filled with signs, warnings, and prophecies. Among these, the prophecies about the coming of Dajjal, the greatest deceiver in human history, stand as one of the most terrifying tests awaiting humanity. In the Islamic tradition, Dajjal's emergence is not just a distant event but a looming reality, destined to shake the very foundation of faith. Who is Dajjal? How will he rise, and what methods will he use to deceive the masses? In this journey, we will explore authentic hadiths and teachings that tell us about his life, from his mysterious birth and childhood, to his rise as the ultimate source of fitna, or turmoil. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, provided us with clear signs to help us recognize Dajjal, offering guidance on how to safeguard our faith against his deception. As we dive into these prophecies, we'll explore how Dajjal's time on earth will alter reality itself. According to Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, Dajjal's days will stretch unnaturally, with one day as long as a year, another as long as a month, and another as long as a week. Thus distortion in time will challenge everything we understand about our world. Join us as we uncover the story of Dajjal, guided by the wisdom of the Quran, the Hadith, and the insights of the Sahaba, peace be upon them all. Together, let's prepare ourselves with knowledge and faith to withstand the greatest test of all, Dajjal's fitna. To truly understand the fitna, or trial, of Dajjal, we must first grasp the foundation of his story as described by Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Dajjal, also known as the false Messiah, is one of the greatest tests of faith for humanity, mentioned in numerous hadiths with specific signs and details about his life, his actions, and the havoc he will bring. The emergence of Dajjal is linked to the end times, a period marked by intense chaos, moral decay, and an overall loss of guidance among people. It is during these dark times that Dajjal will appear, preying on the vulnerable and those who have distanced themselves from Allah Almighty. According to Islamic teachings, his influence will spread rapidly, challenging the very core of belief and testing every individual's faith. What makes Dajjal's story so intriguing and terrifying is the sheer scale of deception he will use. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, warned us that Dajjal would be a master of illusions, able to make people believe the false is true and the true is false. He will perform acts that will seem like miracles, making barren lands fertile, bringing rain, and even seemingly raising the dead. But all these acts are deceptions, meant to manipulate and confuse humanity. Dajjal's physical appearance and abilities are also detailed in hadiths. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, described him as blind in one eye, with the word, kafir, disbeliever, written on his forehead, something only the faithful will recognize. This physical description, however, is just the surface. His true power lies in his ability to exploit people's weaknesses, to play on their desires, and to manipulate them into questioning or even abandoning their faith. Interestingly, there is a hadith narrated by Tamim al-Dari, a companion of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, which offers a vivid account of Dajjal before his appearance. Tamim al-Dari, may Allah be pleased with him, once encountered a strange creature known as Jassasa on an island. Jassasa informed him that Dajjal was chained on that island, awaiting the time when he would be set free. This story adds an eerie detail to Dajjal's origin and highlights that he has been awaiting his moment for centuries. The influence of Dajjal will be so powerful that Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, advised reciting Surah Al-Kahf as a means of protection against his fitna. This chapter of the Quran holds verses that are particularly effective in shielding believers from his deception. It serves as a reminder that faith, knowledge, and connection to Allah Almighty are essential tools to resist the trials that Dajjal will bring. In summary, the background of Dajjal is both a warning and a call to strengthen our faith. By understanding his origins, his methods, and the prophecies surrounding him, we prepare ourselves for one of the greatest challenges that humanity will face. As we move forward in this video, let's explore the specifics of how Dajjal will impact the world and the lessons that Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, has given us to navigate this dark chapter in human history. As we delve into the core understanding of Dajjal, or the false Messiah, it's essential to recognize why his fitna, or trial, is regarded as one of the greatest challenges humanity will face. Dajjal is not just a test of faith but a powerful symbol of deception, manipulating reality in ways that will cause confusion, fear, and even despair among people. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, described him in great detail, offering insights into his character, his actions, and the kind of world he would attempt to create. Dajjal is expected to emerge during a time of global turmoil. In the Islamic tradition, the end times are marked by moral decay, rampant injustice, and a turning away from the teachings of Allah Almighty. It is within this setting that Dajjal will appear, exploiting the vulnerabilities of humanity. His power to deceive will be unmatched, with the ability to present what is false as true, and what is true as false. Thus deception is what makes him such a dangerous figure. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, has given us specific descriptions of Dajjal's physical appearance, behavior, and the signs that will indicate his arrival. He is described as being blind in one eye, with the other eye protruding, and the word, kafir, disbeliever, written on his forehead. Only those with true faith will be able to recognize this mark. However, it's important to understand that Dajjal's appearance is just one aspect. His real strength lies in his ability to create illusions, tricking people into questioning their beliefs and ultimately leading them astray. One of the most significant aspects of Dajjal's deception is his ability to manipulate nature itself. According to Hadiths, Dajjal will perform acts that seem miraculous to the ordinary person. He will have the power to make rain fall, causing crops to grow, even in barren lands. People will see this as a divine act, especially during times of famine and drought. However, all of these miracles will be illusions, meant to deceive the masses and make them believe he possesses God-like abilities. His ultimate goal is to make people worship him instead of Allah Almighty. Dajjal's arrival will be a time of severe trial, where he will use wealth, resources, and false miracles to control people. Those who lack faith and knowledge of Islamic teachings will find it difficult to resist his influence. He will appear as a savior, especially to those in desperate need, offering them food, water, and security in exchange for their loyalty. This temptation will be so powerful that it will affect even the strongest of believers. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, advised Muslims to seek refuge in Allah Almighty and to recite the verses of Surah Al-Kahf as a protection against Dajjal's influence. Surah Al-Kahf contains wisdom and stories that strengthen faith and resilience. Its verses serve as a shield against deception, reminding believers of Allah Almighty's power and the importance of unwavering faith. In one of the Hadiths, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "Whoever recites the first 10 verses of Surah Al-Kahf will be protected from Dajjal." This advice emphasizes the need for spiritual preparation, knowledge, and devotion in the face of Dajjal's Fitna. An intriguing part of the Dajjal narrative is the story of Tamim al-Dari, a companion of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Tamim al-Dari, may Allah be pleased with him, encountered a strange creature named Jassasa on an island. According to the narration, Jassasa warned him that Dajjal was on the island, chained and awaiting his time to emerge. This hadith not only gives us a glimpse of Dajjal's origins but also highlights the supernatural elements surrounding his existence. Another aspect that is unique to Dajjal's presence is his manipulation of time. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, explained that when Dajjal appears, his days will be different from ours. His first day will be as long as a year, his second day will be as long as a month, and his third day will be as long as a week, with the rest of his days proceeding normally. Scholars have discussed the meaning behind this hadith, suggesting it could be a metaphor for Dajjal's ability to distort people's perception of reality. Imagine living a single day that feels as long as a year. This distortion could disorient people, making it easier for him to exert control over their minds and beliefs. Beyond his power of deception, Dajjal's emergence will also bring a division among people. Those with strong faith, who rely on Allah Almighty's guidance and the teachings of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, will resist Dajjal's influence. However, many others, in a state of vulnerability and desperation, will fall for his tricks, especially if they see him as a means to improve their lives materially. This will create a massive divide between the faithful and those who have succumbed to Dajjal's false promises. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, also mentioned that Dajjal will move swiftly across the earth, traveling at incredible speeds, visiting all regions and spreading his influence. In today's context, some interpret this to mean that Dajjal's influence could be far-reaching and possibly facilitated through global communication or media that spread his ideology rapidly. Regardless of the interpretation, the message is clear: Dajjal's reach will be worldwide, and his presence will be felt across all cultures and communities. To withstand Dajjal's trial, believers are encouraged to strengthen their relationship with Allah Almighty and to stay grounded in the teachings of Islam. The Quran and Hadith provide the tools and knowledge needed to recognize his deception and protect oneself from his influence. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, emphasized the importance of seeking refuge in Allah Almighty, praying sincerely, and keeping firm in one's faith. In conclusion, Dajjal's arrival represents the ultimate test of faith. It is a challenge that will require not only spiritual resilience but also a deep understanding of the signs and prophecies provided by Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. By being aware of Dajjal's tactics, his deceptive miracles, and his agenda, believers can prepare themselves for this critical trial. In the face of Dajjal's fitna, the key lies in unwavering belief, knowledge, and the guidance of Allah Almighty. This journey through the teachings about Dajjal serves as a reminder for us all to stay vigilant, steadfast, and connected to our faith. As we dive deeper into the story of Dajjal, a sense of unease begins to settle. Who is this mysterious figure, hidden from the world yet prophesied to play a central role in the fate of humanity? For centuries, believers have been warned about his arrival, a day that will change the course of human history forever. But Dajjal's story is shrouded in mysteries, leaving us with questions that heighten the suspense surrounding him. Imagine a world where truth is blurred, where deception appears as reality. This is the world Dajjal seeks to create. His powers will be unlike anything we have ever known, manipulating the very elements of nature to make barren lands fruitful, giving life to what seems dead, and offering security to those willing to follow him. Yet every action he takes is designed to draw people away from Allah Almighty, creating a false sense of salvation while leading them into darkness. But who, or what, is Dajjal truly? Is he a mere man, or something far more sinister? How can one figure hold such power over people's minds, distorting their beliefs and manipulating their deepest fears? Even the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, described Dajjal's fitna as the greatest test of faith that humanity will face. His presence has an eerie quality, as if he is watching, waiting for his moment. In a world filled with turmoil, Dajjal will emerge, cloaked in mystery, illusions, and deceit. The question remains, will we be able to recognize him when he finally arrives? And will we have the strength to withstand his influence? To truly understand the enigma of Dajjal, or the false messiah, we must delve deeply into Islamic texts, Quranic verses, Hadith, and the words of scholars. Through these, we can begin to grasp the essence of Dajjal's fitna, or trial, and the powerful role he is prophesied to play. The story of Dajjal is central to Islamic eschatology, the study of the end times. While the Quran does not directly name Dajjal, many scholars agree that specific verses and themes align with the traits of deception and disbelief he embodies. Instead, the most vivid descriptions come from the Hadith, the sayings and teachings of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. This is where Dajjal's identity, his appearance, his tactics, and the chaos he will bring are revealed. One of the most frequently quoted hadith regarding Dajjal comes from the Sahih Muslim, in which Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, stated, "Since the creation of Adam, till the day of judgment, there is no fitna greater than that of Dajjal." This powerful statement shows the magnitude of Dajjal's impact and the intensity of his trial. Throughout his life, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, would often warn his companions to seek refuge in Allah Almighty from Dajjal. These repeated warnings suggest the significance and gravity of Dajjal's arrival. According to Hadith, Dajjal's origins are mysterious. Some narrations suggest he has been in existence for centuries, waiting for his time to emerge. In the famous Hadith of Tamim al-Dari, may Allah be pleased with him, we learn about an encounter with a strange figure known as Jassasa on an isolated island. Jassasa warns Tamim about Dajjal, who is chained and waiting for the day he will be unleashed. Scholars interpret this hadith to mean that Dajjal's presence is imminent but veiled until Allah Almighty decrees his appearance. In addition, there are numerous signs of Dajjal's arrival. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, spoke of certain events that would occur as his arrival approaches, including the moral and spiritual decline of society. Humanity will face extreme hardships, droughts, and a lack of morality. In this environment, Dajjal will step forward as a deceptive savior, exploiting the desperation and vulnerabilities of people. One of the most distinguishing features of Dajjal, as described in Hadith, is his physical appearance. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, provided details, such as his blindness in one eye, with the other eye protruding like a bulging grape. This physical deformity symbolizes his inner moral corruption and lack of spiritual insight, reinforcing that he represents a distorted version of truth. Another key symbol on Dajjal's body is the word, kafir, or disbeliever, which will be written on his forehead. This sign can only be recognized by true believers, underscoring that only those with faith and understanding will see through his deception. Dajjal's form is a reflection of his twisted intentions. Just as his physical body is flawed, his words and actions are filled with distortion and lies. His appearance serves as a reminder to look beyond surface illusions and recognize the essence of one's beliefs. According to the teachings of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, Dajjal will travel the earth rapidly, moving from place to place, spreading his influence and creating doubt among those with weaker faith. The Hadiths tell us that Dajjal will possess immense power to perform acts that appear miraculous. He will command rain to fall, bringing life to barren lands, and will even raise the dead in front of people's eyes. However, these acts are not true miracles but deceptions meant to manipulate and seduce people into following him. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, described these acts as nothing more than tricks, illusions to lure people into disbelief. Dajjal's ability to control nature and perform these false miracles reflects the lengths he will go to deceive humanity. His agenda is to turn people away from Allah Almighty, using their desperation as leverage. During a time of severe famine and hardship, he will appear as a savior, a figure of hope. But this hope is hollow. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, warned that these acts are meant to test the depth of one's faith. Those who rely on Allah Almighty and remain steadfast will see through Dajjal's illusions, while those driven by fear and material need may fall under his spell. An interesting aspect of Dajjal's fitna is the concept of time distortion, as described in Hadith. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, stated that when Dajjal appears, his first day will be like a year, his second day like a month, his third day like a week, and the rest of his days will be like ordinary days. Scholars have offered various interpretations of this description. Some suggest it is a literal distortion of time, while others see it as a metaphor for the way Dajjal will control perception, creating a sense of overwhelming presence that destabilizes reality. This distortion of time could symbolize the way Dajjal will consume people's lives, influencing them so deeply that each day in his presence feels endless. It may also hint at how his trials will intensify, with each passing day becoming more difficult for believers. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, emphasized the importance of seeking Allah Almighty's refuge during this time, as Dajjal's influence will permeate even the smallest aspects of daily life. Islamic texts provide specific guidance on how to seek protection from Dajjal. One of the most notable means of protection is the recitation of Surah Al-Kahf, particularly the first 10 verses. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, instructed his followers to memorize and recite these verses, as they contain messages that build resilience against deception. Surah Al-Kahf emphasizes the trials of faith and perseverance, reminding believers to rely solely on Allah Almighty for guidance and strength. Additionally, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, advised Muslims to avoid confronting Dajjal directly, especially those who are unsure of their faith. Instead, he urged them to seek refuge and to distance themselves from Dajjal's presence if possible. Staying firm in worship, prayer, and adherence to Islamic teachings are key defenses against his influence. Over the centuries, scholars have explored various theories about Dajjal. Some interpret him as a literal individual who will appear near the end times, as described in Hadith. Others, however, see Dajjal as a symbol of extreme corruption, materialism, and disbelief that will prevail across societies. According to this view, Dajjal represents a culmination of all forms of spiritual decay, manifesting in the form of an individual whose power extends beyond the material world. Some modern scholars even suggest that Dajjal's abilities could reflect advancements in technology or media, which have the potential to shape reality and influence minds on a global scale. The media, with its power to sway beliefs and control narratives, can be seen as a form of illusion, amplifying the symbolic interpretation of Dajjal's fitna. These interpretations highlight the importance of vigilance, as Dajjal's deception may manifest in ways that resonate with each era. In either case, whether taken literally or symbolically, Dajjal's presence is meant to test the strength of one's faith and reliance on Allah Almighty. The Hadiths about Dajjal serve as warnings, urging believers to remain rooted in their faith and prepared for the trials to come. In summary, the story of Dajjal in Islamic teachings is a profound reminder of the trials that test the depth of our belief and trust in Allah Almighty. Dajjal represents the ultimate deception, a force that will prey on human weaknesses and desires. Through his false miracles, manipulation of time, and power of illusion, he will attempt to lead humanity astray. Yet, Allah Almighty has equipped us with the tools needed for protection: the Quran, the words of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and the strength that comes from unwavering faith. As we reflect on the teachings about Dajjal, we are reminded of the need to stay vigilant, prepared, and connected to the divine guidance of Allah Almighty. For in the end, it is our faith and trust in Him that will safeguard us from the darkest of deceptions. The Hadith of Tamim al-Dari, may Allah be pleased with him, is one of the most intriguing narrations about the Dajjal in Islamic tradition, offering a vivid glimpse into the nature and whereabouts of this deceptive figure. The story originates from Tamim al-Dari, a Christian who later embraced Islam and shared his extraordinary encounter with Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. This hadith is recorded in Sahih Muslim and several other sources, and it's particularly significant because it provides a direct account of Dajjal's existence and his anticipated release. According to the narration, Tamim al-Dari, may Allah be pleased with him, and a group of his companions were traveling by sea when their ship was blown off course and eventually stranded on a mysterious, remote island. As they explored the island, they encountered a strange, shaggy creature with an appearance so unusual that they could not discern its front from its back. The creature introduced itself as Jassasa and told them to proceed to a nearby monastery where a man awaited them. Upon reaching the monastery, they found a chained man who introduced himself as Dajjal. The chained figure questioned them about several events, including the arrival of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and certain geographical signs in the Arabian Peninsula. Tamim and his companions affirmed that these events had indeed taken place, to which Dajjal responded by revealing that his time for release was approaching. He warned that once freed, he would travel across the earth, spreading his fitna, trial and chaos, and misleading people away from the truth. When Tamim al-Dari, may Allah be pleased with him, shared this experience with the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, the Prophet, peace be upon him, gathered his companions and recounted the story, affirming its truth and significance. He emphasized the need for his followers to remain vigilant against the fitna of Dajjal, explaining that this encounter was a divine confirmation of Dajjal's existence, adding a new layer of reality to the warnings he had previously given about Dajjal. This hadith is remarkable for several reasons. First, it provides a physical description of Dajjal as a chained, human-like figure awaiting his release. His presence on a distant island, combined with his supernatural restraint, underscores his unique and formidable nature. Unlike ordinary trials, the fitna of Dajjal is a test that will affect the entire world. His chain-bound state symbolizes that Dajjal's eventual release will be according to Allah Almighty's decree, marking a specific moment in the unfolding of the end times. Second, the story of Jassasa serves as a symbolic prelude to Dajjal's arrival, representing a mysterious and unsettling figure that foreshadows deception and confusion. Scholars suggest that Jassasa's appearance and role may signify the initial stages of the fitna or the obscure elements that precede Dajjal's manifestation. Lastly, the hadith reinforces the need for spiritual readiness. Dajjal's trial is one that affects the mind and soul, and only those with firm faith will recognize his deception. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, emphasized the importance of memorizing verses from Surah Al-Kahf to protect oneself from Dajjal's fitna, highlighting that spiritual preparedness is key to resisting his influence. In sum, the hadith of Tamim al-Dari provides an invaluable insight into Dajjal's eventual arrival and the immense trial he represents, urging Muslims to prepare through faith, knowledge, and the guidance of Allah Almighty. In discussing the Dajjal, we often focus on the supernatural or religious aspects, but there's a surprising amount of scientific and logical grounding in the prophecies. One way to approach this is through psychology and social influence. The Dajjal is described as a powerful deceiver who will manipulate people on a grand scale. Modern psychology explains how susceptible people can be to manipulation, especially when under stress, experiencing social or political instability, or feeling vulnerable. Throughout history, we've seen leaders, cult figures, and influential personalities sway masses through charisma, fear, and propaganda, methods that align with how the Dajjal is predicted to operate. Moreover, some scholars connect the idea of fitna, trial or chaos, with the impact of advanced technology. Dajjal's abilities are described in a way that parallels some technological advancements we see today, such as surveillance, mass communication, and even artificial intelligence. For example, the notion of spreading misinformation globally with ease is now achievable through digital media, something unimaginable centuries ago. His ability to manipulate what people see and believe could be an analogy for modern tech-based deception, like virtual realities or deepfake technology, which can create highly convincing, false images or videos. Additionally, the notion of Dajjal's day being like a year could symbolize a distortion of time perception, a rapid, global changes that make people feel time is moving faster. This could be linked to the accelerated pace of life and technology in the modern era, which creates a sense of timeless urgency and confusion. By blending faith-based predictions with these logical and scientific elements, we see that the Dajjal's fitna isn't just mystical, it's a reality we are closer to than ever in our interconnected, rapidly evolving world. As we dive deeper into the mystery surrounding the Dajjal, one question remains: are we truly prepared to face such a powerful fitna? Islamic texts paint a vivid picture of the trials Dajjal will bring, but understanding the deeper significance of these signs is essential. In upcoming sections, we'll uncover even more details, insights into his appearance, his influence, and how to protect ourselves spiritually and mentally. To you, the viewer, I ask, what do you think of these signs? Could some of these events be unfolding around us today, disguised within our everyday lives? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's build a discussion on this profound topic. Also, if you want to stay updated with more content on these important end-time signs and the historical, religious, and even scientific elements behind them, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. Together, let's explore these mysteries, prepare ourselves with knowledge, and connect with a community dedicated to seeking the truth. So stay tuned for what's next, it's only getting more intriguing from here. As we reflect on the story of the Dajjal, we are reminded that his fitna, trial, is not merely an event of the future but a profound test of faith, insight, and resilience that challenges our understanding of good, evil, and deception. The teachings about the Dajjal serve as a metaphorical lens for our lives, urging us to consider how easily we can be swayed by illusions and misled by what appears on the surface. The Dajjal represents the ultimate challenge for humanity, one that tests the strength of our convictions and the depth of our faith in Allah Almighty. One of the most critical lessons here is the emphasis on discernment. In a world flooded with information and distractions, distinguishing truth from falsehood is an invaluable skill. The teachings warn that many will follow the Dajjal due to his ability to deceive, but those grounded in faith, knowledge, and a close connection to Allah Almighty will be able to recognize his lies. This reminds us that cultivating a strong, unwavering spiritual foundation is essential, not just as a means of protection, but as a guide in our daily lives. Moreover, the Hadiths about Dajjal remind us that worldly power and materialism are illusions that can enslave the soul. By focusing on inner growth, truth-seeking, and compassion, we can prepare for not only the Dajjal's trial but the smaller, personal tests we encounter daily. The real takeaway is that, through wisdom and a sincere heart, we can rise above these trials and find peace and strength in the face of life's greatest challenges. Ultimately, the Dajjal's story is more than a prophecy, it's a call to action for believers to seek clarity, embrace humility, and strive for a life centered on truth and purpose. As we conclude our journey through the signs, prophecies, and mysteries surrounding the Dajjal, it's clear that this topic is layered with profound warnings and lessons. The teachings about the Dajjal are not only about a future event but also serve as a timeless reminder of the trials humanity faces in every era. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, cautioned his followers against Dajjal's deceptive power, emphasizing the need for vigilance, faith, and preparation. The Dajjal's fitna, or trial, symbolizes more than physical chaos, it embodies the spiritual and moral struggles we confront daily. The vivid descriptions of Dajjal's actions, the allure of his promises, and his ability to deceive even those who are knowledgeable remind us of the power of material temptation and misinformation. As narrated by Tamim al-Dari, may Allah be pleased with him, the Dajjal's presence on an isolated island, chained yet awaiting his release, symbolizes how forces of deception may appear dormant but are ever present, waiting for moments of vulnerability. This hadith, along with other descriptions of Dajjal's appearance, reveals that the greatest threat lies not in physical might but in the power to mislead and distort reality. For us, as believers, the teachings encourage a steadfast adherence to faith and an active pursuit of knowledge. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, taught that Surah Al-Kahf offers protection from the Dajjal's influence. By internalizing its verses and understanding its wisdom, we can fortify ourselves against the deceptive tactics of both Dajjal and the broader trials we face in life. In a world where truth is often obscured by distractions and misinformation, the story of Dajjal calls us to reflect on the importance of clarity, discernment, and unwavering faith in Allah Almighty. Just as Dajjal's fitna will test the faith and resilience of believers, we too are tested by the constant influx of materialism, ego, and false promises. But with knowledge, prayer, and a commitment to truth, we can rise above these challenges. So as we part today, let's remember that our spiritual journey is ongoing. Staying connected to Allah Almighty, cultivating wisdom, and practicing patience are our most powerful shields. I encourage you to carry these lessons forward, to strengthen your faith, and to seek the truth with an open heart. Thank you for joining us on this exploration. If you found this discussion insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Let's continue to seek knowledge and strengthen our faith together. Until next time, may Allah Almighty guide and protect us all.